Hey, gang. Okay, do you struggle to make decisions without seeking outside validation or proof that what you're deciding is what you should be deciding? Look, as independent women who survived childhood trauma, insecurities are one of the top things that we've got to face. And making decisions is one of those things that falls under the umbrella of this is so hard because I don't know if I'm going to make the right decision. And like, can you hear all the insecurities? I've heard this so many times. And so we're going to dive into that today in this video. And I know you would love to heal your past trauma so that you can stop being so insecure. So drop me a line below and I will shoot you my book, Rebel Rising, where it has the #1 most effective healing tool I use with all my clients to heal past trauma. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Contessa Akin. I'm the best emotional well-being coach that there is. I've coached close to 1,000 women over the last 15 years to heal their trauma, calm their nervous system, and rise up against the odds being their past. And in every video you get from me, you'll get at least one actionable item that you can take today so that you can heal now. All right, let's dive in. In this video, we're going to talk about how you can make a decision without seeking outside validation. Is one of my favorite ones. I think of one of my favorite clients. Okay, I say that all the time. They're like all my favorite. We're going to talk about 3 truths that you can take, right? I think about her all the time, and the 3 things really that ultimately got down to so that she could start making decisions. And so she started making decisions without seeking outside validation, and she just blossomed and just flew off, and it was so awesome to see. All right, let's talk about, like, you had some trauma in your background, right, which helps to kind of fuel this insecurity rage, but also, like, you can avoid making decisions because you're afraid of criticism, which also can be a trauma response. You also can feel insecure and unable to make decisions because you've been in an unhealthy relationship. Maybe it just started, or maybe you've been in it a little bit too long because you've avoided making the decision about it, right? Can you see how this is going? All right, let's talk about the 3 truths. These are my favorite things. Okay, and the first one is doing something differently doesn't mean you're doing something wrong. Oh, I'm going to say that again. Doing something differently doesn't mean you're doing something wrong. Oftentimes, whenever women come to me and they are afraid to make decisions, they're afraid that it is going to be wrong, or because it feels so different and against the norm, it feels wrong and it feels icky, right? And so, what happens when you acknowledge this truth that just because it's different doesn't mean it's wrong, means that you can open up space so that you can, #1, do something different and acknowledge that whatever you're doing is not wrong. It just feels unnatural and uncomfortable because you're so used to relying on outside validation in order to make your decisions. Okay. And the second one here is there isn't always one right decision. This is oftentimes where everybody gets bogged down. Okay. There's not always just one right decision. And because there's not always just one right decision, it can feel then overwhelming, and then you'll shut down as a result. Excuse me. That's not the answer. Acknowledge the truth. And it's okay if you make 5 decisions. This is what this truth means. You can make 5 decisions about one thing, and when you do that, you just gave yourself 5 opportunities to do something differently, to do things new, to test things out, to test your own ability to manage how you feel whenever one works or one doesn't work, or maybe 4 don't work and one works, or maybe 4 works and one doesn't work, right? Like, this gives you an opportunity so much for growth and being able to sit with the discomfort, or you're going to knock it out of the park and all 5 are going to be fan freaking tastic, right? Like, you can make 5 decisions if you want to about one thing and go with all 5 if you want to. Some of them will work, some of them won't work. All of them may work, all of them may not work. And that's not wrong. Huh? All right. This is why the last truth is important. Learning to forgive yourself is an act of love. Because look, here's what's going to happen when you start making decisions. Not all of them are going to be home runs. Hey, it's okay. It is okay. And learning to forgive yourself is an act of love towards yourself. And don't you deserve that? Isn't that ultimately what we're looking at, is like being able to love yourself through the decision-making process, whether good or bad, whether it works, whether it doesn't work? I think so. All right. I know you'd love to heal your past trauma, so drop me a line below and I will send you my book, Rebel Rising, where it has the #1 most effective healing tool I use with all my clients so they can heal past trauma. Until next time.